The world can be a dangerous place. Gear up with the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Equipping your firearm with laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com and receive a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
I'm a gun owner.
Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk.
I don't think that guns are scary things.
Visit us online at www.guntalk.com. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. I am still scratching my head over this column written by Dick Metcalf, Guns and Ammo magazine, where he says that regulating firearms, having gun laws, is just regulating, and the Second Amendment says that a well-regulated militia. I have not seen this in print. I've only seen it online. I almost hope that this is some kind of a stupid hoax that somebody has put up, because I cannot for a minute believe that somebody who has been supportive of gun rights for so long could possibly say that well-regulated, the term well-regulated in the Second Amendment, actually refers to restricting rights. Well-regulated, as we know only too well, any student of the language, any student of history, any student of the Constitution knows that the term at the time meant well-turned out, well-practiced, well-equipped. It did not in any form or fashion mean restrictions or regulated by the government. It meant that you practiced and you were good, you were competent with your firearm. That's what a well-regulated militia meant. And in this column, he's saying, well-regulated means that we can have firearms regulations. It's so bizarre that I find myself wondering if it's actually true. I can't even imagine that Metcalf wrote such a thing or actually meant such a thing. I don't know. If you have any thoughts on it, and I'm getting lots of emails and the Twitter accounts blowing up on this thing, by all means, give us a shout, 866-825-5486. In the meantime, it is, my heavenly days, it's November. It is well into hunting seasons now, and one of the folks we always like to talk about as we get into waterfowling and upland birds, the folks at MEC, and they've got some new things to talk about right now. So Sean Wozniak and Simon Hurley are joining us from MEC Reloaders. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man? See, do we have Sean? Okay, hey, Sean, you there? I don't know. Is Simon there?
Yeah, Simon's here, Tom.
Oh, hey, Simon, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I didn't know who we were going to have up first. So with Simon Hurley with MEC Reloaders, but actually, I guess we're going to start with the new stuff first. Rather than talk about the reloaders, you're going to talk to us about your new clay target machines.
That is correct, yes. Yes,
so,
definitely.
How did MEC end up getting into, well, I mean, I know MEC makes reloaders and clay target shooters use reloaders to reload their shotgun shells. But you guys, I guess you bought a company that makes clay target throwers.
Yes, that's right. And I was actually one of the owners of the company making the throwers. MEC came and approached us back in January. Obviously, they've been making reloaders for many years, and thought it would be a great idea to get into the clay target machine market. They came along, they approached us and acquired Apex Clay Traps, as it was, and established MEC Clay Target Machines.
So how long has Apex been around?
Apex have been around, getting on for about 3 years. Although myself and my partner have over 20 years of experience in the industry, each of us do, by the way.
Ah, okay. So obviously there are other big players in the field of companies making clay target throwers. And we should explain to people, we're not talking about the little bitty things that you'd go out in your backyard. These are made for clubs. These are the big traps, right?
Yes, these are the larger machines that hold from 200 targets up to 400. They're fully automatic, and they're used by shooting clubs, large commercial grounds, where you don't have to have a trapper standing at the machine hand loading every time you want to throw a target.
So with several companies already in the business and they're out there calling on clubs and selling stuff, why did Apex get into this? And then why, which I guess is the same question, why is MEC wanting to further this?
Because we at MEC feel, as myself and my partner Andy did at Apex, we felt that we could make a better mousetrap. We wanted to build a better machine that we could offer more target presentations with, using premium materials, and also being an American-made machine was hugely important to us.
Yes, yes.
MEC have a huge manufacturing background, and there isn't anything that these guys can't make. So it actually made a great deal for us and for MEC as well.
You know, one of the things that occurs to me every time I watch a clay target thrower or a trap functioning, at its core, the thing is trying to throw itself to pieces as you use it, isn't it?
Actually, in the old days, yes, but these days the sort of technology has moved on, and to watch the machines throw, they are very smooth now. You can put a machine on the ground and let it throw, and there's hardly any movement at all. Wow. Due to the design of the machine, so that they don't shake themselves to pieces like machines would have done, 20, 30 years ago.
Let me ask you something. I was talking to a buddy recently who's a serious trap shooter. I mean, he's literally shot more than 1 million targets of trap. And he said that as he goes around, he is seeing clubs pulling up their skeet fields, pulling up their trap fields, and putting in more sporting clays because, in my view, it's simply more fun. It's more varied. But what that also would mean is that for these clubs, it takes a lot more traps to have a sporting clays course than it does to have trap or skeet.
Yes, it does. That is quite true. Whereas you may have a trap club with 1, 2, 3, possibly four trap machines set up with sporting clays, you're usually looking at around 12 to 14 stations with 2 machines per station. So you could be talking 24 to 28 machines to set up a 100-bird course. That being said, you offer all sorts of different target presentations,
right?
And that's where a lot of shooters feel it can be more fun.
Well, I agree. I mean, I think it's more fun. I honestly find trap and skeet boring. I mean, there it is. I've said it. It's out there. I just think sporting clays is more fun. But from a club's standpoint or a shooting range standpoint, these traps are set up all over the place, and you don't want to have breakdowns. So I'm guessing that's kind of one of the things that you guys are working toward is to have a more reliable, trouble-free trap. Because if it's out there on the course and it's broken down, the club's losing money.
Exactly, and that's what you can't have with any clay target machine. You can't have that downtime. So the machines are designed to literally sit out in a field 365 days a year without the need to be covered up or to have very, very minimal maintenance. All you have to do is once in a while change the battery if you're not using a solar charger, and just keep filling it with clays. And then maybe move it around a little bit to change the target presentation. But that's really what it comes down to. Keep it very simple, very reliable.
And the information on the Apex loaders is on the MEC website, MECReloaders.com.
Yes, and also MECShootingSports.com too.
Okay, very good. Now, is Sean with you, or are we handing off to Sean to talk loaders here?
I'm actually in a different part of the country than Sean today, so my understanding was he would be calling in from somewhere else. Okay,
I tell you what we'll do. This is a perfect time. We'll take a break, and we'll see if we can get Sean on here, and we'll bring him in after the break here. So, Simon, thank you so much for letting us know what was going on with the loaders, and keep us posted as you have new products coming out.
We will do, Tom. Thank you again for having me on.
Absolutely. You take care. All right, tell you what, let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll see if Sean can get a hold of us, and we will work our way from there. I'll be right back.
Accurate, powerful, consistent. At Double Tap Ammunition, we offer 364 loads in 83 calibers that give you exactly what you've been looking for. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022 style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
What's that?
It's my Trijicon.
What's a Trijicon?
Only the best rifle scope in the world.
Says who?
How about the U.S. Marine Corps, Special Forces, Navy SEALs? You heard of these guys?
Sure.
Well, they're all using Trijicons.
Let me see it. Wow, this is really sharp.
And a lot of professional hunters are using Trijicon, too. You probably caught it on some TV and radio shows.
Yeah, I have heard some of them swear by their Trijicon.
I swear by it.
You know, I could have been a Navy SEAL.
Well, the closest you're going to get now is buying a Trijicon.
Hey.
Trijicon is the brand of rifle scopes that more and more hunters are swearing by. That's because every Trijicon is handcrafted using the finest optic materials. The bright aiming point can guarantee you a great hunt from dawn to dusk. Get your Trijicon at a dealer near you or visit them on the web at Trijicon.com. That's TRIJICON.com. Trijicon. Brilliant aiming solutions.
Be a more accurate and confident shooter. Get a Crimson Trace laser and light. If you're holding it, you're aiming it. That's called instinctive activation. Crimson Trace invented it. Get the best deal on Crimson Trace lasers and lights at OpticsPlanet.com. Optics Planet carries thousands of rifle scopes, red dot sights, holsters, safes, knives, apparel, and the full line of Crimson Trace lasers and lights at OpticsPlanet.com.
From the time Sam Colt created the gun that won the West, Colt handguns have set the standard. Today, that single-action Army revolver is still available, showing craftsmanship known worldwide. The 1991 series of autos continues the legacy started by the world-famous Colt 1911. And the new polymer Mustang XSP breaks the mold when it comes to concealable lightweight pistols. To see more, go to coltsmfg.com. Colt, the legend continues.
Want your next gun purchase to be fast and hassle-free? Well, at galleryofguns.com, you can search through thousands of models from our huge firearms inventory. Find a great offer from a local dealer that includes all fees and taxes. And there's no need to arrange a transfer. Gallery of Guns takes a small deposit on your credit card, and your gun will be at your chosen dealer in as little as 48 hours. Plus, your gun will be covered by our guaranteed lifetime replacement warranty. GalleryofGuns.com. Search, find, buy. It really is just that easy.
At Double Tap Ammunition, we hand inspect every round that we make, and we use only the best components to give you the best ammunition on the market. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
Gun Talk would like to say thanks to our longtime loyal listeners who put their trust in us every week and depend on us to answer your questions and keep you informed. Now, Tom Gresham's Gun Talk continues.
All right, 866-825-5486. Let's go line 3. Carl's with us, Atlanta, Texas. Hello, Carl. You're on Gun Talk.
You know, you were talking about Metcalf, that rider, and his comments. You know, that's okay for bull sessions and just to say, you know, what if or why not? But you know, when you start getting into requirements, why not make it a 6-month training for anyone to own a gun?
Right.
You know, why not do it that way? So that you can make it all the requirements more and more onerous to where only bona fide law enforcement officer is going to wind up with a gun anyway.
Well, I mean that's clearly the goal. If you say, okay, you guys can just. You know what? We trust you guys in the government. You can just put whatever requirements you want on us for us to own a gun, or how about annual qualifications? And, oh, yeah, you're going to have to qualify with each gun, and it's going to cost you $100 to do the qualification course with each firearm that you own. Would that be reasonable? Well, it is to some people. It would certainly be reasonable to people who want you to not have any guns. what could possibly go wrong here?
How well do you know Mr. Metcalf?
I've known Dick for at least 30 years. That's why this is just weird beyond belief. I mean, now, having said that, Dick is a Yale-educated PhD gun writer, which is kind of an interesting combination. But, I mean, I don't know where this has come from. I just have no idea.
Okay. Let me throw a question out there for you. Could someone have perhaps talked him into running for office?
Nah, I don't think so. And that's why I say I'm just scratching my head. And yeah, I know that everybody wants to just jump in and say, well, he's lost his mind, or somebody has pushed him into doing this or whatever. I have no idea. I'm just left wondering, and this was not an email. This was an article online. And it looks like it's the Guns and Ammo website, the one that I went to, but I don't know that. I haven't seen it in the actual. Here's a question: if anybody knows this, if anybody has gotten their December Guns and Ammo magazine, look in there and see if you actually see this piece by Dick Metcalf talking about regulation is not necessarily wrong. If it's in the printed magazine, then I'll know it's for real, okay? And somebody can call me and help me out with that. Listen, I appreciate the call. We do, in fact, now, through the magic of phones, we have Sean Wozniak back with us here from MEC Loaders. Hey, Sean, we had Simon on tell us about the traps, and I wanted you to give us just kind of a quick update with what's going on with the reloader side of business.
The loader side of business is going strong as can be. I mean, this year has been fabulous for us, and adding the clay target machines into our business is a great partnership and great way for us to extend the business.
For those who may not be aware, I mean, in a lot of parts of the country, we're well into waterfowl season. There are still, I mean, it seems weird, but there are still people who don't quite understand that you can get yourself a MEC loader and you can load up your own non-toxic shells for using for waterfowl or for other areas where you can't use lead shot, right?
That is correct. That's correct. Even throughout the U.S. with the dove seasons in place, a lot of the areas, I believe all the areas, regulate that you have to shoot steel now. So with our Steel Master, you're able to load your own steel or non-toxic loads to be able to go out there and harvest game.
Is there anything special about loading steel as opposed to loading lead?
Basically, like anything when you're reloading, is make sure you just follow the recipes that the powder manufacturers distinguish.
So they have different load recipes, load data for steel, and the components can be a little different. I think sometimes you use a different shot cup. You want a little bit more protection for your gun barrels, your shotgun barrels, because steel shot is harder. But you can also load other kinds of non-toxic besides steel, can't you?
Correct. I mean, there's tungsten, bismuth, heavy shot. Those are all great non-toxic, basically shots that are out there for your choosing. And
save a bunch of money in the process.
Oh, definitely. I mean, steel shot, some of the premium shells out there are running $18 to $25 a box.
How much would you be saving if you were loading them yourself?
I mean, your biggest cost factor is obviously the shot going into it. Majority of the time, it's sold in 10-pound bags, and that varies from, I'd say, about $25 a bag all the way up to $45 a bag, depending on your choosing.
You could then, I'm just running some numbers in my head, you could actually be saving $1 per shell.
Definitely. That's almost the average.
Wow. That's a throwing $1 bill on the ground every time you pull the trigger.
That's right. And if you're like me at some days where you're burning through a lot of shells and not harvesting many game, it adds up quick.
That's a lot of $1 bills you just threw on the ground. Not to mention the fact that it's just fun to load your own ammo, and it's really fun to go out, shoot dove, duck, goose, whatever, with the ammo that you made, bring it home, serve it to your family. It's kind of that full circle, total involvement feeling you get, as opposed to, the other. And look, it's okay to buy ammo and all that, but there's a little bit of an extra thing you get when you make the ammo and you go do it all yourself.
You're exactly correct. The self-satisfaction of you putting together, making that shot, and harvesting game and bringing it back to the family. I mean, the self-satisfaction, you're correct, very correct right there.
Well, the other thing is, and I've talked to other people that have the same feeling I do. For me, loading ammo is a weird kind of ballistic therapy. I just really like the fact that when I'm doing that, I can't be doing anything else. I have to think about what I'm doing, and I can just sit there and load ammo. And it's kind of like, this is me time. I guess it's like it's a shooter's spa going down into the loading room.
That's correct. I mean, it is therapeutic to reload. I mean, that's the common theme I've heard, and I experience it too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so if they want to learn how to load, they want to know more about loading, I guess your website's still the place to go, the MECReloaders.com?
That is correct.
Okay. Anything else new we need to know about? What's going on?
Nothing really. I mean, the biggest part of what's new is when you talk with Simon on the clay target machine side of it.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, look, I appreciate you keeping us up to date, and when you guys have the new things out, and that's liable to happen, in a few months here, let us know.
Will do. I appreciate it, Tom.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. Sean Wozniak from MEC Reloaders. It's MEC Reloaders, MECReloaders.com. Let me run back up here. Line 2, James is in Colorado Springs. James, you're on.
Yeah, Tom. I called because I did read Dick Metcalf's little dissertation on page 120, just inside the back cover of Guns and Ammo.
So
and
you
I was
have
perturbed about it for a slightly different reason than what's been expressed here.
Okay.
As you know, language and context is very critical. We're coming up on the holidays now. Soon we're going to be singing Christmas carols. I presume you're familiar with Deck the Halls.
James, listen, we have no time. James, you've got to make your point. We have no time. Okay, James can't get to his point. Okay, here's the deal, people. We're on short notice here, so we don't have a lot of time to do this. What we're talking about is Dick Metcalf, and I guess James has the printed copy, so it must be the real deal. Trying to figure out what's going on. What is he thinking? If you get a chance, go look at it online. It is it's troubling for a leading gun writer to say, yeah, it's okay for them to restrict your rights. Or actually what he says is it's not a restriction of your rights to have restrictive gun laws. I don't get that. I am just completely flummoxed. I don't have any idea how restricting your gun rights is not restricting your gun rights. What do you think?
One of Talker Magazine's 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. You're listening to Gun Talk, heard every week at this time on great radio stations across America. Stay tuned. Gun Talk is coming right back. Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, 866-TALK-GUN. We're talking about the column by Dick Metcalf, who is a leading gun writer in Guns and Ammo Magazine, December issue. It's been verified by several people who've sent me emails. Yes, this is in the printed version. It is not a hack. It's not an email that somebody has grabbed Dick Metcalf's email and done this. No, he wrote this. It's in the magazine. I'm just stunned. I am knocked out that this leading gun writer would say it is not a restriction on your rights to have restrictions placed on your ability to own, to have to jump through hoops before you can own a gun, before you can carry a gun, to have to pass government-sanctioned tests. Because, look, does anybody remember the literacy test in the bad old days for voting? I mean, this is how it works. Imagine this for guns, but this is how it worked in the bad old days of the South. When a white person came in and they had to pass a literacy test before you could vote, they gave them the word cat. If you could read that, you could vote. And the old line, apocryphal probably, but not necessarily positively, is a black gentleman comes in and they handed him a newspaper. It was in Chinese. And they said, "What's this say?" So he looked at it and he says, "It says here that no black people are going to vote in this state." How tough can they make their restrictions before you can get a concealed carry permit? Could they say, we require 100 hours and it will cost $1,000 for you to take this class? Of course they could. You'd say, well, that's ridiculous. They wouldn't do that. Really? Really? The same people who say that 30 rounds is too many, 20 rounds is too many, 15 rounds is too many, 10 rounds is too many, maybe the number 7, maybe the number 0 for your magazine. Really? Those people wouldn't do that? You kidding me? Of course they would. And here we have Dick Metcalf saying, well, it's not really a restriction on your rights to have regulation of your gun rights. That's like saying, look, here's at the crux of this. You have to understand that we do not get this right. We do not get our Second Amendment right from the government. The government did not give this to us. All the Second Amendment says is, hey, everybody pay attention. Here's a right that we have, irrespective of the government. We had this right before there was a government of the United States of America. This is a civil right. This is a God-given right. This is a natural right. This is a human right. This is a civil right. This is not something that's been given to us, so it cannot be taken away from us. So what's going on here? Somebody just asked me, said, well, don't they have any editors there? Well, not really. Not really. I wrote for Guns and Ammo magazine for many years. Many, many changes have taken place. The circulation has gone down drastically. They've moved from California. They're in Peoria, Illinois. Not everybody moved. There's not a lot going on in terms of reading copy as it comes in. Who okayed this? I don't know. Maybe nobody. Maybe it came in last minute and just got inserted in. If it's the right link that fit, good, run it. But what's going on with Metcalf, I don't know. But it makes no sense. Maybe he's been in Illinois too long. He's an Illinois guy. I don't know what's going on here, but it's disturbing. Line 3, Martin is with us out of Elkton, Oregon. Hey, Martin.
Yes, sir. I read the editorial in Guns and Ammo, and it's a true fact that this person did write that editorial,
okay,
or the comment. And I was somewhat dumbfounded by it, but I didn't know quite what to make of it because I didn't expect it from a gun magazine. Hello?
What's your reaction to it now that you've had a chance to think about it a little bit?
Well, the more I think about it, I think it was ridiculous because it didn't need any comment. I mean, why comment about your Second Amendment rights? He tried to lump it in with the First Amendment rights and say that the First Amendment was regulated because you couldn't fire in a theater. Well, he tried to say that the Second Amendment came under the same jurisdiction or the same regulation. Yeah. And I, for the life of me, I still don't understand why that required a comment in a gun magazine.
Well, I agree with you, and it didn't belong there. It didn't need to be said. He's damaged himself drastically. He's damaged the magazine dramatically. And that's a phony idea that, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Yes, you can. You most certainly can. Nobody puts duct tape over your mouth when you go in. You most certainly can do that. Now, there are consequences to doing it and causing harm to people. If there's a fire there, it's a good thing to yell fire. That's a good thing. And they say, well, then because you can't cause harm to people with free speech, we should be able to restrict gun rights. It's nonsensical. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's just nuts. I don't understand this. Let's talk for training for just a second. Line 4, Seth, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hello, Seth. You want to talk about some defensive training?
Yeah, I'm waiting on the paperwork to go through right now for my concealed carry permit, and was interested in getting some force-on-force or defensive pistol training. And I know you guys did work with VADA for the first-person defender series,
right?
And I've seen a couple of other groups advertise around here. And I was just wondering if you had any recommendations as far as different training groups, or maybe some resources where I could find some.
Well, certainly the VATA group, VATA, I really think they do a great job. They're over in Slidell, not that far from you. If you are not on it yet, it's in every state there's a good online group, a good group where you can go for information. In Louisiana, the group is called Bayou Shooter, singular, not shooters, BayouShooter.com, and they have good information all the time about classes that are being held various places. Do your research. I am real strong on people doing their research about various trainers, about groups and individual trainers. There are some trainers out there that are loco nuts. Okay, you don't want to be around them. They have dangerous classes. If you should find yourself in a class somewhere, and they're doing things that you're thinking, this is just nuts, you're probably right. You need to leave. If they're putting people down range and shooting around them, that's crazy. All right. If they're allowing people to point guns at other people, whether on purpose or because they're casual about their safety requirements, that's crazy. You need to go somewhere else. So, but specifically to your request, Seth, take a look at Bayou Shooter, see what classes are being taught in the area, and absolutely, I can firmly endorse the guys at the VATA Group, VATAgroup.net. Good information there. All right, what's your opinion on the Dick Metcalf story? I am kind of slowly forming an opinion on this and coming to what I guess is going to end up being my position on it. It just caught me by surprise, but love to hear what you have to say about it. 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486.
Hi, I'm Michael Bain. You know I hate cleaning guns, so anything that makes that job faster and easier is definitely a plus. And that's where bore tips come in. These reusable, lint-free cleaning swabs make cleaning a breeze. And the tighter-fitting bore tips do a better job on barrels than cotton mops or patches. Hey, it's a dirty job. Let bore tips help. To find a dealer, visit boretips.com.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner, you'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. Dury'sGuns.com.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
866 Talk Gun will get you in here talking about this stunning, breathtaking column written by Dick Metcalf in Guns and Ammo magazine, where he's saying that it's not an infringement on your rights to have a restriction on your gun rights. I know you're saying, what? I mean, it's like your head spinning around going, what did he just say? So how is it? Okay, look, Dick once told me that I said, how'd you end up going to Yale? He says, well, I was just a smart kid from a small place in the Midwest. I don't know if he feels like he's smarter than everybody else. He's figured this thing out. He's just flat out wrong. He's just flat out wrong. And I don't care what research you do. You keep coming back to well-regulated does not mean restrictions by the government. Well-regulated in the Second Amendment means practiced. You have turned out as you should, you have shown up as you should, and you have full functioning firearms as you should. That's what well-regulated meant at the time it was written. The very idea that you would say a 16-hour concealed carry class, which is going to be difficult or impossible for a lot of working people to take. If you are a mother, a working mother, you don't have 16 hours available to take this. And you don't need 16 hours to figure out who's trying to rape you. Here's the thing that's interesting. If you look at, and let's talk specifically about the Illinois requirement, 16 hours, you look at states where no training is required and states where a fair amount of training is required before you get your concealed carry permit. There's zero difference, no difference whatsoever in the number, the rate, the incidents of people misusing their firearms for concealed carry permit holders screwing things up. None. I am a firm believer in training. I also think that the government should not be requiring training because that allows them to increase the training requirements to the point where you can't achieve them, where you can't get your carry permit, where you can't own your firearm. So Dick Metcalf says, yeah, that's not a problem. I don't know. Let's see. We have Larry on line 1 in Medford, Oregon. Hey, Larry, I know you got a thought on this.
Yes, sir. In the words of the Second Amendment where it says shall not be infringed, if you look up the word infringed, it says changed. So it shall not be changed. And in my opinion, anybody that tries to change the Constitution is against the law.
The right of the people, and let me make sure that everybody understands, the right of the people, not the right of a militia, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Inside the home, outside the home, that's what the Supreme Court has said. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for that call. It's just... So, okay, here's the question. We'll just chunk it out there. What do you think we ought to do? What do you think should happen? Should Metcalf be called upon to explain his position? Or he kind of did that. He just thinks that he's right and you're wrong. He thinks that the constitutional scholars on the Second Amendment are wrong. And he's right. He thinks that it's okay to have more restrictions on you before you could exercise your Second Amendment rights. I don't agree. And that's like understatement of the century right there. I'm like I say, I'm perplexed, I'm confused, I am disappointed, I'm surprised. And I am convinced utterly that he is absolutely wrong. And the question is, what, if anything, should we do about it?
Gun Talk stands for safety, personal responsibility, and common courtesy. To be a part of the show, call 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk will be right back. Gun Talk would like to say thanks to our longtime loyal listeners who put their trust in us every week and depend on us to answer your questions and keep you informed. Now, Tom Gresham's Gun Talk continues.
Hey, just a few minutes, we're going to be talking with a top trainer who basically just did a nationwide tour working with law enforcement, military, and civilians about lights and lasers, particularly low-light training for self-defense. Very interesting stuff. I had a chance to visit with him a few days ago at the NASGW show, the Sporting Goods Wholesaler show in Dallas. And he was telling me some of the things he was discovering, people who don't really have a clue what the whole flashlight thing is, why they have one on their gun, and how to use it. It may be even more important, how not to use it, for heaven's sakes. I got to tell you, man, it's an eye-opener when you hear the stories of what some people are doing. You just kind of go, what? You don't want to miss that one. All right, let's go to line 2 right now. Lewis is in Anchorage, Alaska. Lewis, you are on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. How you doing today?
I am good. What do you think about the Metcalf deal?
On the Metcalf deal, I think we should throw him overboard. We should come down on him like a duck on a June bug. He's in the same class that Jim Zumbo was in, and now I'm going to tell you something, this you can relate to this. You knew Bill Jordan, did you not?
Yes, I did. I knew Bill.
Do you remember when he wrote an article for, I believe it was Shooting Times, about how bad the black rifles were, the AR-15s?
I don't remember that one.
Well, he did, and he was my hero all through high school, and I even got Smith & Wesson 4-inch revolver and a Jordan belt and holster set from Don Hume, so I could be just like Bill Jordan. And then he went and did that, and he just really upset me when he did that. But what's going to happen here is people like Chuck U. Schumer and others of the anti-gun group, they're going to start using Metcalf's words to say, see, even the people in the gun group think that there should be changes made, and I really think it's going to hurt us in the long run.
Oh, if it were important enough, yeah. But you're right; they'll use it. It won't make a lot of difference. It's just bizarre that this would happen. And I guess the question is, people are already calling for a boycott. They're canceling their subscriptions to Guns and Ammo. More so than has been happening because the circulation of guns and ammo has been going downhill for 10 years, and really all the shooting magazines, just like all the other magazines and newspapers, just print is going downhill, down. In this case, can they support keeping him on? I know he's got a contract. Can they support keeping him on, or will it just start to affect them either both in circulation and in sponsors? That's the other part of it. I don't know what's going to happen there. Don is on line 3. He's in California. Hey, Don, we got, real quick, throw your question out, please.
Yes, hi. The difference between 9mm Luger and Parabellum. I understand that. My Ruger P89 fires both perfectly, but my sister has a 9mm compact. It jams up on either 9mm or Parabellum.
Okay, here's the thing. 9mm Luger and 9mm Parabellum are exactly identical. There's no difference whatsoever. But if she has a pistol that is labeled 9mm short or 9mm Kurtz, Kurtz, that's not a 9mm. That's a 380. It's a European designation. It's very possible that's what's going on. If that's not it, and if the gun is just jamming or something, then have a gunsmith take a look at it. But there's no difference at all between a 9mm Luger and a 9mm Parabellum. Completely interchangeable.
Firearms, ammunition, recreational and competitive shooting, training, hunting, and yes, even politics. You're listening to Gun Talk. Call us now at 1-866-825-5486. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com.